What's good, YouTube? I'm the Sneaker Simeon, and I'm here to bring you part 5 of my Air Jordan collection. Starting off here with the Air Jordan 11 IE in a black and red colorway. This pair is from 2003. The original came out in 96. Although there are some differences between these and the original, they actually remastered the original recently. And the differences are that the original does not have elephant print on this part. It's more of like a dark gray nubuck or suede. And the outsole is more clear but kind of foggy with like an off-white color. These are dope. I don't understand why people don't like these. These always end up sitting. It's just a dope classic shoe. It's a part of the original Air Jordan lineup. Part of the original Air Jordan 11 lineup. And I think it's a dope shoe. The midsole on these are Phylon, so they don't crack. They will last you a very long time, especially if you store them properly. The only downside is that the glue does weaken over time, and you do have to glue some parts. But that's an easy fix. Again, Air Jordan black and red IE 11s. Moving on to the next shoe, we got another pair of IE 11s in a cool gray colorway. These were actually marketed as Silver Zest, but I like to call them cool gray. Again, gray outsole were clear, but of course, with time they've yellowed. Fun fact about these, not a lot of people know this. You can actually lace these up in 2 different ways. You can either lace them up through the eyelets, which is how they come, or you can lace them up like this through the sides. These are a little, it's a little harder to tighten when you're lacing them up like this, but I like it. I like the way it looks. These actually recently retroed in a similar colorway where the toe area is white. I personally did not like them. I prefer like this better. I usually break these out during the summer because of this mesh here. You can see my feet will freeze if I wore these during the winter. So I usually break them out during the summer. Unless it's a really nice day in the winter, I'll break these out. I'm moving on to the next pair, and that is the Space Jam 11s. Space Jam 11s. The reason I air quote, because although these were marketed as the Space Jam 11s, because he wore these in Space Jam, these are actually modeled after a pair of playoff exclusives that he wore, that Michael Jordan wore during the 95 playoffs, where it has the number 45 in the back. Now, the Space Jam 11s, the one he wore in the movies, has a 23 in the back. So that's one reason why I feel like these should be called the playoff 11s instead of the Space Jam. That's one reason. Another reason is, don't know if anybody knows this. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there who know this, but the Space Jam, or this colorway, was not part of the original Air Jordan 11 lineup. They weren't part of the original release from 95-96. There were only 3 colors during that year. And that was the Columbias, the black and red, and the Concords. Alongside came these with also a white and gray pair. So in total, 5 different Air Jordan 11s released. These were not part of it. These actually weren't available for the public until December of 2000. And those were marketed as the Space Jams because of how popular the movie was and how popular the shoe became because of the movie. So they marketed those as the Space Jams. So this is another difference between the original Space Jam release and the sample, the player exclusive that Michael Jordan wore. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I do believe that the original release of the Space Jams, the patent leather was actually cut a little lower, just like the retros were. Now these are cut like the original Air Jordan release, and also like that original player exclusive that he wore. So that's another reason why I think they should have just marketed these as the player exclusives. I understand why they marketed it as the Space Jam, because it's the colorway that was in the Space Jam, but technically the shape and the 45 in the back are all from the player exclusive. Also, the original Air Jordan Space Jam release, here it says Jumpman Jordan. On the original Space Jam release, it says Jam where it says Jordan, so it's Jumpman Jam. Of course, because of Space Jam. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you consider these Space Jams, or do you consider these playoffs? Let me know in the comments section. Again, I didn't know if I mentioned, these are from 2016, remastered. It came in this whole like Space Jam box. It was a really cool box. I don't really care for the boxes, because I don't wear the boxes. Boxes just stay in the closet. Actually, the box for these are in my storage unit, so I don't really care for boxes, although that box is really cool. I'll move on to the next and last pair. Here we got the Snakeskin 11s, navy blue. They actually got like, I don't know if you can tell, but they got a bit of a green hue to them because of aging, and they're dirty. Yes, the outsole is missing, and they're separated. I need to restore these. I need to find a donor to donate their midsole and outsole, or just the outsole and the air unit. The air unit in these are still kind of intact. They still have air in it, still have pressure, but I'm gonna replace those. These are from 2001. They did retro in 2019. I don't know how they compare to the retro. I never really saw those retros in person. I do know that they did a Snakeskin 11. I don't remember what year it was, but they did it in black and green. And I can tell you that the snakeskin part on those were very cheap and hard. It wasn't like these at all. Where these, like, it kind of looks like actual scales. Where the other ones were just bumps and then painted like scales. So they weren't as good as these. And I don't know how the retros, the 2019, I don't know how they did those. I haven't seen those in person. But yeah, I want to restore these. The reason why they're separated like this and why the outsole is gone. So I actually didn't store these properly. I learned the hard way. And the outsole dried up and got really hard. I don't know if people know this, but outsoles, the rubber on the outsole can get hard and crack if you don't store them properly. I'm going to show you an example. Now these, is not that I didn't store them properly. It's just that the outsole, I don't know, you see, because it's just a few spots. I think I may have stepped on some salt they lay out for ice and snow. And it must have gotten stuck to my shoe. And I put them away like that and let them sit. And I think that's what happened, because it's just certain spots. And it dried them out. Made it really hard. And look, it's stiff and it just snaps. So store your shoes properly. Make sure you clean the bottom if you go out during the winter time, where you know there's salt out there. Make sure you wipe your feet when you're coming in the house. Make sure you get that salt off of it, because especially if you leave your shoes, if you don't wear your shoes often and you just let them sitting in the closet, it'll eventually just dry them out. I'm gonna make a video soon about what causes shoes to crack and how to make your shoes last longer. So stay tuned for that. Also, advice, if you're gonna, actually, you know what, I'm gonna leave that for that other video. I was gonna give you advice on how to check to see if the outsoles are good to wear, because older model Air Jordan 1s, if they're not stored properly, the midsole and outsole will get hard and crack. And I will explain that in that video that I will do soon. But I'm gonna conclude my video here. Stay tuned for my next video. Again, comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification button. Peace out.